Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who's floating on the wings of love. It's David Cross.
I believe that's a cloud. Cloud number nine.
I
Oh, uh,
mean, he is. He's Joel is just in love. He's a kid. He's in love. His bunker mates have treated him like a tiny hedgehog, which
very
probably
true
has,
statement.
which maybe has given him like a lot of self doubt. This is, you know what I like about Love and Monsters, David Cross?
What's that?
I'm working on an assignment right now. When this episode is released, it'll be out. But I'm working on a thing for fandom where I'm analyzing post-apocalyptic movies to like see which one is the worst. And so I've been watching Mad Max. I've been watching the franchise Terminator. I've been watching Matrix. 28 Days Later. Like I've done series on Resident Evil where they're all post-apocalyptic movies. We even did Underworld. It's not post-apocalyptic, but it's like just dour. I guess it doesn't count. But all the narration is so in the world, in the future. The robots have won. There's skulls everywhere and they're killing us, and we're all dead, and there's no hope. And my life is for blood and oil, and I'm crazy, and yada yada yada. But then in Love and Monsters, it's like, hey, y'all, the world took over, and a goldfish ate this guy, and then I had to go, and I was on a run. It's super crazy, but I'm here in a bunker. Like it's just peppy narration for a post-apocalyptic movie, and we don't get that much, and so I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that came up a lot in the reviews I read for this movie. People really liked the narration and how fun it was. I do want to take a step back, though, Mark.
Uh-oh.
I know every time you start one of these podcasts, you come up with a fun intro. I am shocked that you didn't mention minestrone soup. That feels like it's tailor made for Mark.
So you know what's funny is I had minestrone food. Who makes a mean minestrone. I was gonna do that. And then I was thinking about maybe doing Who Will Never Steal Your Food. But then I just like Floating on the Wings of Love because Rooker calls him out perfectly for it. Like this guy doesn't even like. So in this movie, Joel, he goes on a 7-day trip across 85 miles, and he does so without even asking the person that he's going to go visit if it's cool. And the person he's visiting is like, yeah, I probably should have told you that, I'm not like interested anymore. But like, I don't know. I just think he really is floating on the wings of love. And I just think it's interesting. And I like that Michael Rooker said that sentence.
Yeah, it's amazing how many times people tell him he's being dumb and he just keeps plowing through.
Yeah. Like you're an idiot. Like but you know what though? Like let's put ourselves in Joel's shoes. He I have a question for you. So I love this movie. I guess I should talk, like Michael Matthews directed it. He did a wonderful job. Brian Duffield of No One Will Save You, and he also wrote Underwater, wrote it. The budget is a paltry $30 million,
That's
which
even less
is,
than I thought it was.
yeah, it
I,
looks beautiful for 30 minutes. And it's
Oscar
100
nominated VFX.
Oscar nominated VFX. And without the credits, it's under 100 minutes. It's in, it's out, it's pleasant. People are likable. The monsters are cool. It has heart. And it's just Dylan O'Brien. Like I love the Maze Runner movies, and I think he is wonderful in this film. And I think during the pandemic, everyone's stuck inside, and this movie's about the world ending and a road trip, but it was kind of what the world needed. It was just like a peppy post-apocalyptic movie, and not like Contagion. Like it was a nice distraction from things. And so yeah, it's just like about a lovelorn guy making an 85-mile trip through the most dangerous terrain possible and meets a cool dog named Boy, meets his
That's,
former girlfriend. She's like, I've changed. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he goes back to his people and then takes him to the mountains to chill with Rooker
yeah.
and Minnow.
So I think that's all great, but we should also add some context about why we're doing this movie, right? Because this
Oh,
is
yeah,
when we
yeah,
would
yeah.
normally be doing Bloodshot, and we have done a Bloodshot a lot. I don't know about you, Mark. Like I love that movie, but I'm also kind of like I need a break from it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we're
And
bloodshot
so
it out.
yeah, and so what this is, this why we're doing this film is we're revisiting some movies from the 2020s that I'm only gonna speak for myself here. This movie kind of disappeared. It got memory hold, and I think it should have more discussion around it. And that's why I pitched this. Or did you pitch this to me? I actually can't remember at this point.
I think we talked about it in 2020, and then we got
Hmm.
busy with our we did the Underworld series, which took us a long time, and then we had to finish our Universal horror movies with Van Helsing and all that, and then it just didn't fit into what we were doing. Also, we had Alligator, Piranha, we had Jaws knockoffs, so it didn't fit in any of those. And eventually, we're like, listen, we're not doing Bloodshot, so let's talk about another 2020 movie that we love that really did disappear, and it's done well on Netflix. But you know what I think the thing that hurts Love and Monsters is that it's just very amiable. It's a nice movie. There's no extreme violence. There's no nudity. There's no sweeping love story. The action scenes are fun. They're just a good time. But there's just nothing that's like there's nothing that like it's just nice. And I think that everyone who watches it likes it, but it's kind of hard for it to become this movie that storms the charts because it's just such a pleasant experience. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I might disagree with you a little bit on what you said earlier about how this was a movie everyone wanted to watch during COVID. I think a post-apocalyptic movie actually hurt it because we were living in a post-apocalyptic time. Because I'm going to talk for myself. At that time, I was in New York City living in a one-bedroom apartment that I could leave for like 40 minutes a day. It was miserable. And you actually convinced me to watch this, Mark, because I wasn't going to do it. I absolutely wasn't going to do it. And you were like, look, this isn't what you think it is. And I'm really glad you actually got me to do it.
It's just nice. It's a nice
Mhm.
film. And I'm not so sure about Joel's bunkmates. I don't like I know he says that they're his family, but they're kind of terrible to him. Are they? Like, can we talk about this? So this is what I picked up on my rewatch. The first time I watched it, I'm like, they don't seem that great. And then watching it again and then watching it again, because we've had this episode planned for a while. Do you like Joel's bunkmates?
No, not really.
No, they're
No,
terrible.
I mean, one, they just let him leave, right? They're like, well, I guess you don't do anything later.
Oh yeah, you make minestrone.
Well, yeah. Um, the thing that I don't like about them is that they aren't, they're not recognizing the skills that he brings in. You do need someone to tend the house, tend the bunker, but also it's pretty clearly established that he is very good with electronics and fixing and making things. That could have been a much larger part of his narrative than it was, and they ignored that.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah,
who's gonna fix the ham radio when he's gone, or other things around the bunker?
that's a good point. And they kind of write that off. That's like their only way to get in touch with the outside world. And they ignore, but it's just, I don't know, they treat him, I don't know, like you've had him in a bunker for 7 years. Maybe train him a little bit, take him on some missions. Like this, like, it's just an odd choice for the movie. And so when he wants to go back to them, I'm like, why? Like they're because I guess it's just one of those things where it's more telling than showing because they're never really nice to him. And you kind
Mhm.
of you want him to go with Rooker and Minnow. You're like, just go with Rooker and Minnow. Like just like I think things are gonna be really awkward with Amy. So like just go find them. Like go do that. But but I think this movie comes alive when he leaves the bunker and it's his journey when he comes across Rooker, when he comes across Minnow, when he is being chased by the Chumbler, which I love to call that, when he's battling the Queen Sand Gobbler, when he's in the pit, when he is being chased by the most horrifyingly mutated frog ever, when he's with Boy, the walking montages where you see giant monsters in the water. Like that's when this movie comes alive for me. Is that the same for you or no?
Absolutely. Um, what's really interesting about this plot, we were chatting offline about how it's simple, right? And why we liked it. It's one of the things, again, comes up in the reviews. Like, this is a small, quick, simple plot. And it got me thinking, like, why does this feel so familiar? And why does this plot feel so satisfying? And I
Oh,
think I think you'll appreciate this. It pretty much one for one follows the hero's journey, like one for one. I'm like completely across the board, which is I would say currently it's what people use to write stories. It's like a bunch of points that you can put in, and it's going to end up, you know, something a normal story. But originally, it was just a way to discuss um, what story elements can be found in myth stories across the world. But it pretty much one for one. Like the director or writer clearly sat down and was like, I know how to write this. I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to like 16, and they nailed it.
That's why Duffield is brilliant, and I agree with you 100%. You know, Brian Duffield wrote Underwater. Like you're in the
Love it.
Mariana Trench and Cthulhu attacks you. Done. Spontaneous. It's a rom-com in high school where high schoolers are spontaneously blowing up, and it's just how they deal with it. No one will save you. It's a house siege thriller. Like just Caitlin Dever's shellacked by aliens for 90 minutes. He's so smart, Brian Duffield, in the way that he keeps plots very simple, and that's not being reductive, right? Like that's not being reductive at all. That's just saying that he knows how to keep plots simple so he can focus on character. So you can move and listen, audiences, as much as audiences love, like, you know, as much as there's like inceptions that have blown up that are really, you have to explain and explain and explain and explain. I think most people in this world, you know, when it comes to like network television and that, they want something familiar where they can just sit, relax, and let it wash over them. Like, and that's why I think this movie is a lot of fun for people. It can be a comfort food watch because you already know what's going to happen. He's going to walk that way. And like, who knows what's going to happen on the trip, but that's where he's going. And then he grows up. Like, you know, it's going to happen. So you can just relax and enjoy the experience. Does that make sense? Like when you go on a roller
Yes.
coaster, like this is not a roller coaster movie. On a roller coaster, you don't know, like when you know you're going up, but you don't really exactly know what follows. So it's like there's twists and turns and you're flipping. That's not this. This is just a nice straight line movie that you can just relax, put on at night, be engrossed by it, enjoy the performances, enjoy the visual effects, the Oscar nominated visual effects, and then chat about it with your friends. Like it's such a neat, and that's not being reductive. Like I love when stories keep it simple. You write novellas. You're a writer. I'm a writer. Like I think just keeping it straightforward is such a smart idea for a movie like this.
Yeah. And this movie is extremely relatable because who hasn't been in love and done something completely idiotic, especially at that age, right? Right. You're just like, well, you think you're going to surprise someone like, oh, I completely get what Joel's doing. And the audience itself, I bet, have also tried to do stuff like this and just been
Mhm.
like completely embarrassed. And speaking of that, Joel handles it so well
Yeah,
at the
he
end.
does. Yeah.
So well, because he could have just like gone outside and cried because he almost killed himself a dozen times to get there. And he's like, well, yeah, I screwed that up, didn't I? And he only learned that because he went through the trials.
He's like, I didn't even ask you. And then she's like, yeah. He's like, I should be like, hey, do you want me to come visit you? Like, would it be cool? Like, he never does. But in his head, he's thinking they were going to start back where they started because they loved each other, you know? And I think he hasn't really grown up in this bunker, and all of his flatmates are hooking up. They don't even close the door anymore. It's like the dude wants out, and like he finds his lost love. He's going to go. So but then, like you said, he does learn. He does learn it well. Like, I like that he doesn't act like a butt. He's not like an entitled brat who goes over there like I made it all this way. He's like, well, you know, I thought something was going to happen, but I was wrong, and I apologize. And then the one thing though that like when Amy's like, I probably should have told you. He's like, it's okay, it's okay. I kind of would have been like, listen, yeah, it's cool. Like I should have asked. But yeah, like next, if this ever happens to you again, just like tell the person like, hey, it's just nice chatting. Like throw stuff over there. Like I'll talk to you on the radio next week. Like this, it's not her fault at all. But yeah, like when she's like, yeah, I probably should have told you. He's like, it's okay. I don't know. What should she have told him? But I don't think she ever thought that he would do that.
But that's the whole thing. No one would think that you would walk 85 miles across.
It's true.
I mean, frog country.
and
To do
you
it.
and you know what's funny too is it's really funny because you know he's regressed almost in this bunker, but she's been a leader for 7 years, helping people survive. So like she's like in apocalypse years, she's probably 20 years older than him now in terms of like maturity. So
Yeah.
you know, she's probably learned his lessons 8 years ago when they were like 5 years ago when they were doing that. But you know what's really you're not. I love what you said, David. He goes, yeah, I screwed that up. I probably like it's so refreshing. Sometimes you just need that. Like he's just a good kid. Like Joel is a good kid. He gets carried away. learns his lesson, goes back. Like I like him. And
Yeah.
I think that's a testament to Dylan O'Brien too. He plays this role. He's very childish for a 24-year-old, but I mean, he's been in a bunker for 7 years and probably treated like a little hedgehog, which he calls himself. So, maybe he does feel that way. Enough people tell you that, you probably start believing it.
Mhm.
So it's you can kind of believe how naive he is. You can believe his mission, and then you like that he owns up to and is like, oh dang, I should have asked. It just made me happy.
Yeah. And they explain that later on why he freezes up, and it all makes sense because it's like, oh, he's going through extreme trauma. He was at ground zero and escaped, saw his parents crushed in front of him. And and you don't have that context at the beginning of the movie. You're just like, oh, he this is just who he is. And you find out there's a reason for this later on. And it's so smart to put it late in the later half of the movie instead of just having it at the front.
Great point. And that makes his bunker mates worse because they
Yeah.
know what he's been through, but you're like, you freeze. It's like, no, you went through massive trauma and let's try to work through it. but I don't know. I just love Dylan O'Brien running. I don't know if you've watched the Maze Runner movies, but he's
I have
great in
not.
post-apocalyptic. The first one's good. The first one. The second one is fun. The third one's okay. But the first one, they're trapped inside this thing and he just has to run from everything. So Dylan O'Brien's like an all-star runner in
Yeah.
cinema. So I
So
like him.
here's the thing with him. I'm glad you brought him up. I have no idea who he is. I watched this movie, and it's one of the things I was like, what's one of the reasons why this movie isn't more talked about? And I was like, oh, it's Dylan O'Brien. Like, who is he? And apparently people know who he is. I'm just a dum-dum.
Yeah. He's great. And he was almost killed on one of the Maze Runner films. He
I
suffered
did
a
not.
massive head injury on
Oh,
one of them.
wow.
So he was just in a movie called The Tailor, which was really good. He's going to be in the SNL movie. He's kind of making his comeback. But on one of the Maze Runner movies, so he went through a huge brain injury, traumatic head injury, and now he's back. Like he probably never could have acted again. So just watching him come back and be as light on his feet and as likable in this movie just made me even happier. And also, I like Jessica Henwick a lot too. I think she's super cool. She was in the Royal Hotel or Motel last year, which I liked a lot. I thought she was the best part of well, man, what's that MCU show with that Iron Fist? She was the best
Iron
part of that.
Fist, Glass Onion.
Yeah.
Uh,
Matrix Resurrections. I actually like Matrix Resurrections. Like
so
I
do
think it
I.
has good ideas.
And
So
they're doing a fifth one.
good. Yeah. With Drew Goddard, which is nice. But I like her a lot in it. And like, I was listening to this a couple episodes and like, oh, a more interesting movie would be about Rooker and Minnow, or a more interesting movie would be about Amy. And I get it. Like watching her survive on that beach, take care of all those people, or watching Rooker and Minnow just survive horrifying ordeals to become who they are. But I actually those actually sound really good. But I still like the journey of Joel. I do. He's a good lead. I like Boy. That scene with Mavis with a one is a good time. Like I know, like, and just when what Stand By Me and the jellyfish. It's just what I know. I keep saying this, and this is a dangerous thing on the podcast, but the world needs movies like this that are just pleasant, like that are like these are a very specific kind of film that the world needs. Not everything needs to be Mad Max or Cyborg or just grungy post-apocalypse. It needs to be, or Walking Dead. It just needs to be fun.
Ooh, I
For
just finished
30
Walking
million
Dead.
dollars. 30 million, David. This movie that blows my mind. Like some of these Marvel movies, some of these DC movies cost like 350 mil, 300 mil. And then here's this cool film that was filmed in Australia for 30 million with a lot of visual effects.
I have two things to say here. The first one, I'm going to put on my writer hat and talk about the movie
What is
that
your
would
writer
have
hat?
my writer hat.
Yeah. Visualize
Well,
it for me.
well, I think the typical writer hat would be a oh my God, I just lost the name of it. What type of
A
hat?
Kangol?
Fedora. It's a fedora. A typical writing hat
Okay.
is a fedora. All right, I don't have a fedora, okay? My writer hat is a corduroy oxblood hat that I wear pretty much everywhere. That's how I get my writing done. Other people might have better writer's hats, but that's my writer hat. So the point I was going to make here is if you have a movie about Minnow and her stepfather, what type of movie would that be? That is going to likely be a flat narrative. Because if you just take those characters and they are who they are and they just get point A to point B, okay, what are they going to do? Right? What I mean by that is like they're already mature characters. So you can't just take those characters and plop them into something else without coming up with not a plot, but a story arc for them. And that would likely end up being like, oh, this girl hates this guy because something happened in the subway, but he has to take her across the country. And then you get the road, the road.
Yeah. No, please not the road.
I mean, I like that movie. It's
I love it.
so like dour.
Megan got me the Folio Society edition of the book, and it makes me very happy because it's a very pretentious book.
And then the second one is you have Amy's character. She's in charge of what is essentially like a community of elder people. What would her storyline be, right? Do you have her as a leader? Then something comes in, and it would just be the end of the movie. Like what I'm getting at is those two that people want to see are likely negative story arcs back up into positive. Like you're seeing potentially a tragedy, but with Joel, it's all positive, right? He's just becoming a better version of himself. And I'm going to say that in quote marks because maybe I don't agree that at the end of this movie he's the best version of himself.
Not yet.
But I'm getting at they're different movies. They're completely different movies. And like those movies exist. Go watch them and ignore this one then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's odd though. They're like, oh yeah, I don't want to see this guy Joel. But I think he's just a nice character. Like there's very few characters like this to spend time with. And so it's nice watching him do this and learn with him. And what's kind of interesting too is Rooker probably already was a survivalist to begin with, right? Because I mean, you don't look at Michael Rooker and just see him being like soft. Like Rooker, like, before the invasion, he had a machete in his hand. After the invasion, he had a machete in his hand. Like that's just who he is. Joel is so naive to the world that like I think maybe Amy had to grow up outside and sort of learn pretty quick and adapt and keep people alive, like problem solve. Like she was almost like the super at apartment complex, just fixing all the toilets and all the problems and hot water heaters. This one, Joel doesn't know anything about the world. He's not in the world. So the best part that comes with it is him experiencing this world and making so many mistakes. And I think that's where the fun comes in. Like he has no idea what he's doing. Like he falls into a hole at one point, which he deals with really well. And he falls into a hole. He finds a dog. He kills the queen sand gobbler with an amazing grenade moment. Like he's just a scrappy kid. And I think that's where a lot of that's where the suspense comes from. That's where the learning comes from. And like you said, the hero's journey. Like think about like Lion King, right? Dad is killed, he gets thrown out, gets trained, comes back, wins the day. So he hasn't even gone on his full hero's journey yet. So yeah, it's just I think it's a more compelling storyline, and it's nice and simple. Like I dig that it just goes from point A to point B. It's nice.
To continue that discussion point about what I said earlier, like, I don't think the end of this movie has the best Joel in it. What I was thinking about last night prepping for this podcast is it seems to me that the entire plot of this movie is like Joel becomes an adult, but how I would say this, like extreme competency or prone to violence is what this world wants. And what I would have liked to seen is Joel essentially discover his self-worth and be able to take care of himself in the real world. And so what I mean by that is he was this technician in my mind. And I wish he would have been able to use that skill during the climax of the movie. So it's like he's able to fight, but then he's like, oh, I am not invaluable. What I bring is actually useful, and somehow used the skill that he attained in those 7 years to help him.
Do you think at the end when he makes that announcement across the airwaves, like, hey guys, this will help you if you do this? So at least he uses his tech savvy to get on the mic and do that. And also, I think it's smart that he realizes that not all the monsters are bad, since he's one of the few who, like, he's a nice kid, and I don't think his first mission is to murder things right off the bat. So it like seeing that the crab was good, and I love all the monsters in here. They look like just regular monsters but mutated with extra mutations, and I kind of like that. It keeps it familiar. But you're right, he doesn't really use his skills to save the day or become the full version of himself. But I do think like his kind of kind heart, he realizes that these things aren't terrible. He learns from that, and then he uses his skills on the mic to teach people about how to survive. It's it's kind of a hopeful ending, right? Like it's and also he kept that book because he's actually curious and he wants people to learn, and I think he helps people learn. So I wish I could, where they talked about a sequel for this movie, and I don't think it'll ever get it because of what happened during the pandemic. Even though spending $30 million on a sequel, they'd make the money back. Like there's some really bad movies
Easy.
that have much higher budgets than this. So it's
Multiple underworlds.
yeah, exactly. And oh gosh. But yeah, it just doesn't have him in like a tight leather get up crawling through air vents. You know what I mean?
They can make it happen.
But yeah, the sequel though, I don't know what it would be. Like it would just be another issue. It would be like another group of bad humans. Like I don't even know what that would I don't even what would that even be? But what we're seeing as a writer, David, what would the sequel be? All right, let's think about this, right? End of Matrix. So the end of the Matrix, he becomes the one. He's going to go beat up the machine, shuts down their code. But then you realize that, but then the second one's a huge step back because you realize the Matrix is just messing with them, and he's the sixth one. In Terminator, Sarah Connor lives. She has a kid, and you're like, oh, okay, the world's supposed to live. But then the second one, they're like, no, we're going to kill the kid. So it's like, where do you take this? Like where do you find a sequel for this? Like 28 days later, all the rage infested people die, but then an asymptomatic, a convenient asymptomatic person brings them all back. So what do you think the sequel for this would be?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could take it a couple of different ways. One, you wouldn't follow the journey of everyone to the mountains. It would just strictly start there in the mountains. It's an indicator that Joel has, it's basically that would be an indicator that he's achieved what he's done, that he's in the same place he was at the previous movie. Think of this as like the second Batman, how he, at the beginning, they capture Scarecrow as a representation that he's so good that he doesn't have to like deal with Scarecrow or
yeah.
But what I'm getting at is like it's just a continuation, and so it's either fixing the problem, like having a solution to shrink the monsters, or it is taming the monsters, or it is they are being attacked by something that they can't stop, and then they have to find a way to do that. Those are like the really three things that I see.
Like finding a cure.
It's a cure, but it would be like, do you call it a cure if you're gonna mutant like animals? Like, I think it would be really funny if they would have
made them bigger.
Made them bigger. That could have been funny. I think you have a cure. Oh no, it's bigger.
Oops. Like he flips the instructions upside down. Oh, this is what it said.
I mean, I'm getting Kong vibes. It's like, oh, we need to get a giant snail to defend the community from killer monsters.
I mean, if you look at what the How to Train Your Dragon movies, you bring in the mom, but then you also bring in a guy who controls the monsters, and he has the alpha. So then it's the good and the bad ones battling each other with the aid of like humans on both sides. Like one's controlling them, but you already kind of did that in this one. But that being said, I like where this went, and I like where it might go. Like I don't think it needs anything further because things have been learned, and it's just nice. And I don't know, it's just a scrappy picture that it's just very pleasant. It's just a very pleasant film, and I like watching Henwick beat people up. That's always a pleasure when that
is
final
great.
battle scene.
Anything she is in, I want to watch.
Yeah,
automatically. Like I feel like she's a bigger star than Dylan. I mean, in my mind, she is because I didn't know who he was, but like personally, I think she's a bigger star. I love her.
Like he had his own franchise, Dylan. So I think maybe, but it was Maze Runner, not Dylan O'Brien in Maze Runner. But I think Henwick will be fine. Like that Royal Hotel or motel is blowing up. She maybe she just wasn't busy and had a few days and was like, I'm Australian. I'll be in an Australian film. Like
I could do it for 4 weeks. Not even that.
Sometimes I wonder in these films where people are like, these people should have had bigger roles, and it's kind of like, well, what was their availability? Maybe they're in Australia and their director's a friend and like, hey, you want to be in this movie real quick? Like make some money and like be here for 3 weeks. Like it's you kind of wonder what the story is behind them joining up for it.
Wasn't she in another movie with the director or the writer? I can't remember
which movie.
I thought she was somehow had done something with either the scriptwriter or the director.
Oh crap, she was in Underwater.
Yeah, there you go.
I forgot about that. I love that movie. She was in Game of Thrones too.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
The Gray Man. That's like one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life.
It's not even a movie.
No, yeah, it's not a movie.
I don't really like usually get so harsh on films, but it's terrible.
Yeah, that's not a film at all.
I have a question for you, and there's no right or wrong answer, but I want to talk it out. What do you call this type of movie? Because there was a proliferation of this type of like quirky horror comedy, and I would say like 2014. This feels like a later edition, 2020, but I just don't know what to call it. So like, here's an example of it: Warm Bodies, Boy Scout's Guide to the Apocalypse. I haven't seen Lisa Frankenstein, but I'm assuming that also falls into this. It's like PG-13 light horror teen comedy.
It's a post-apocalyptic road trip comedy.
Mm.
I don't know, because
it's like
it's not like
coming
the
of
Hunger
age.
Games, right? Like it's not like the Hunger
No,
Games.
it's not.
And there's not really a core romance. Like, Warm Bodies was Romeo and Juliet. So there's no core romance. Like zombies aren't trying to understand humans. Like it's about I just think it's like a comedy, post-apocalyptic comedy road trip film,
Yeah,
coming of age.
it's a how do I put this? Mid-teens coming of age movie horror.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about it. I was like, well, like where did this type of filmmaking come from? Like I'm sure there's like what's the peak example of it? I'm gonna let you guess where I got.
Well, I think road trips in the apocalypse are nothing new.
No.
Mad Max, he's traveling the wasteland. Cyborg, they have to take a cyborg from point A to point B. Like, there's always like in Hell Comes to Frogtown. They go to Frogtown. There's always a Book of Eli. He's walking somewhere. He's traveling somewhere. So, they're Omega Man doesn't really have a trip. I mean, Escape from LA.
You're thinking really hard about this. Think more around the comedy aspect.
Like a road trip comedy.
Like a road trip comedy horror. Yeah.
Road trip. Night of the Comet.
I mean, that's a great one. So I traced this all the way back to Zombieland. And I was like, I think Zombieland has the DNA to like, that basically all these other movies are pulling from. But then I realized like it's not Zombieland. It's Shaun of the Dead. Like Shaun of the Dead is still rippling through our zeitgeist because it's inspired all these other films.
No, that's a good point, because he's a kind of a bum, and then he has to become a better man by, he has to grow up inside the bar that he always goes to and like become a better boyfriend. But Shaun of the Dead's kind of crazy though, because his mom dies and his stepdad dies and his best friend dies.
Yeah.
That one's gnarly. So so you think it's Shaun of the Dead? Like they have to get to point A to point B. They have to travel.
I mean, I think the entire like the ethos of Love and Monster can actually be traced back to Zombieland, and that the proto version of it is Shaun of the Dead.
I like that.
It's like Zombieland is like this weird mishmash of awkward comedy and horror, and there's stakes, but the stakes are never like super high. And even when someone dies, it's funny.
Yeah, because there's like clowns getting hit in the head, or Bill Murray getting shot in the chest. What is it about post-apocalyptic movies and traveling? Like Terminator Salvation, they have to travel places. Like why what is it about post-apocalyptic movies from getting to point A to point B? Like is that just like why do you think those movies are like that?
They're simple. So the quest story, it's a simple framework. I mean, really, it really is. It's like, okay, you got to go to point A to point B. So your characters automatically have a motivation and a need. And you can write towards that very simple. And that need is manifest. It's a physical look thing. Like you don't have to come up with an idea of like, I don't know. You probably don't need to come up with like a crazy MacGuffin because they're just have to get from A to B.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you don't. I am going here for the Maltese Falcon. No, I am just traveling here for this. Like there's a dragon there, I have to go kill it. Or there's a ring, I have to go drop it. Or my ex-girlfriend is 85 miles away, I got to go see her.
I mean, if my ex-girlfriend, well, he thinks it's current, but if my ex-girlfriend was Jessica Henwick, I would think about traveling 85 miles. I'm not gonna be honest, like 85 miles.
I mean, think about it, right? Your bunkmates are not good to you. Like the way they talk to him. There's a couple lines in this movie where like what do they say to him? Let's see. I'm coming up here. I have all my stuff here. He's like, you think of me as some pathetic hedgehog. They're like, you're fast and small. And he's like, guys, I'm stronger than you might think. So they just treat him really badly. And so you're sitting there, everyone else is paired up. evil cockroaches or ants are just murdering you. Your bunker is getting busted into. There are air grates that things can get into. Towards the end, they're not even blocking anything off. He just walks right in there. So you could sit there and survive with them as long as possible, and somehow allow a cow to eat a bunch of was it like tide and die, which is crazy. But yeah, I just think, why not? Like I don't know. Is that crazy? Like what else? Like what else do you have to do down there? Like he would be miserable if he just sat in that bunker and was treated like that, and then just didn't go and find out. So it's, yeah, I mean, I get it.
Well, they
I
don't
think,
even really treat him like a person, and that's the example of that is his bedmates just leave the door open as they're laying there naked. Like they don't even think of him as like an adult. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, like they just like, yeah, they just sit there like, oh yeah, your door's open. Yeah, we know. And yeah, oh, man, yeah, that's my biggest problem with this movie. I don't think those people are written well. Like I don't. That's my one. That's the one part, because I think a lot of movies do that where you're like, oh, they got to go back to this person, but those people are pretty terrible. So it's, I don't know. I think the strongest part is when they save him in the beginning and then pull him in the truck. Like I think that's probably like the best moment of them looking after him. But yeah, I mean, did you think they treated him terribly so he would want to go?
No, no,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't. I actually don't think they wanted him to leave, but they also didn't stop him. It's like if he was, to be frank, if like he was a great warrior, they're like, no, you can't leave. No, we're not
Yeah.
gonna let you. Or they would go with him, right?
If he was
uh,
Conan or Mad Max or Furiosa.
yeah, but they're like, you make good minestrone. Guess what? Everyone can make good minestrone.
Yeah, yeah. And so I don't know. In that situation, David, just would you go?
If I had zero skills, would I go? Probably not. I mean, he's lonely. Yeah, I get it. But that doesn't mean they're not going to stumble across other survivors that might come into the bunker, or you know, this is really really dark. There is a newly single woman in the bunker.
Oh man. Yeah, it's I have a very impulsive side, so I probably would go. And but see, I'm like 6'4" and like my knees are bad. If I was a spry 24-year-old who was as fast as Dylan O'Brien, which I don't know how he gets much cardio, but if I was that fast and kind of squirrely, and sure, why not? Like what's, maybe I get killed by a bug immediately and be like, oh, that was a bad idea. But I don't know, that bunker life seems pretty terrible down there.
I mean, he survived because a bunch of other people were there. The dog saved him.
Yeah, yeah. Rooker
Michael
saves
Rooker
him.
saves him. Like Jessa Henwick saves him. Yeah, it's like he just gets saved constantly. He has a couple moments where he uses a grenade. A great job there. But he gets really lucky too. Let's not act
Yeah.
like he did it. And basically, at the end of the movie, when he says that, it's like, well, if you survive a couple things, you're going to be strong. It's like, hey guys, if you're really, really lucky, then you can get to the mountains too.
Because the world's, he's walking on that bridge in the water and that creature does not attack him. So it's a survivable world, I think.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. I do think it is. They just haven't, the people have all clustered in and haven't really explored very far.
Which makes sense because the bigger ones are out there. And then do these monsters kill each other?
I believe they do because they showed that spider creature that was killed.
Oh yeah, that's true. So yeah, they're probably out there battling each other. So they're probably thinking, hey, just wait. And humans can't provide that much food for them. So it's not like a Terminator situation where they're just trying to actively kill all humans. These creatures have just taken over and now they're existing. All right. Hey, well, I have a question for you, David. I don't know if you want to discuss something else, but do you want to do our grenade draft? Do you want to talk about our favorite grenade scenes in movies?
I have one other topic,
Okay.
two other topics. The first topic is really short. I like to read reviews of movies before we have these podcasts, and I was checking out Letterbox today. Letterbox pisses me off so much. It's because everyone wants to be funny on it. No one gives you good reviews, or there's a very small amount of people who give you good reviews. Everything else is just trying to be witty,
Like a pun.
but like a pun, but it's not a good pun. But for this movie, the thing that I saw a lot of 1-star reviews for: don't put the dog in danger. Don't put the dog in danger. That was in so many things. They're like, you're just screwing with people. And I was like, nah, that's good. like
Wait, that's what it is? That's what
there were
people
so
gave
many
it
of them
one
about that.
star?
They get 1 star because the dog, they're like emotionally manipulated by putting the dog in danger.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so I fear for our state of critical thinking.
Jeez
Um,
Louise.
yeah, and then the second thing was I wanted to run through a couple movies that I think have gotten memory hold from 2020 that your audience should go check out if they haven't already, or recheck out if they haven't seen it. So I'm gonna run through this list, and you just tell me what you think. So one, Run. That's like the home invasion with there's a young girl in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great one. Monster Hunter, which we covered. I love that movie,
Wait,
and
we
it
haven't
just
covered that
disappeared.
yet.
I thought we covered that.
No, we need to.
We haven't. Oh my god!
No.
Did I? So here's the thing, Mario. We talk a lot about movies, and sometimes I think we've recorded things we haven't recorded. Like
Listen,
this is an example.
I own it and I've watched it and I love it. So just let me know.
Another one, Gretel and Hansel. I think this is
Oh
this is
yeah.
going to be one that is controversial, but I was hooked on this movie when I first watched it, and haven't heard anyone talk about it since.
Great triangle work.
Here's one we've definitely covered: Shadow in the Clouds.
Yep. Fun.
Yeah, and then one that I do not see anywhere. Rent-a-Pal with Will Wheaton.
I haven't watched that one.
It is super creepy and disturbing, but it's gone. Like no one talks about it, and it is a great horror flick across the board.
Okay. Rent a Pal. And you can
Yeah.
it's on AMC Plus.
Yeah, it
Which
was a IFC movie.
Ooh, I love some IFC. All right. Rent a Pal. I like that.
Yeah.
What about do you think Underwater is talked
So
about at all?
yes, I think Underwater is a cult classic at this point. Like,
Okay.
there's like enough people that love it that they're like, oh, go watch Underwater, go watch Underwater. And then this movie, this is so weird to say, but if it gets like 10% more fans, it's gonna hit cult classic, but it's just not there yet. It's like still too forgotten.
Because you know why I think that is Underwater was bashed by critics and people didn't even go see it. Like people were just like, oh, look at it's like Alien. Like there was like a weird wave of negative energy towards it. So then people started watching it and they went, wait, this is good. Like this is good. Like, what are you guys talking about? And then there's something to be annoyed about, right? And there's something to rally behind. They're like, guys, this is actually a good movie. Why would you rate it like this? But then this movie is really it's in the 90s and it has solid IMDb scores. It's generally a well-received movie. So you can't just be like, oh, critics didn't hate it. It has a 94% tomato meter score. And you can't be like, audiences didn't like it. It has a 6.9 IMDb score. So there's nothing to rally around for it. Does that make sense? Whereas
Mhm.
Underwater, I think people really treated it harshly at first, and that caused people to rally around it.
Yeah, that was a movie that you convinced me to watch, and I'm really happy you did. You seem to do this a lot, actually. You're like, you should go watch this movie, and I'm like, are you sure? I really just want to watch Jason movies.
It's I try to avoid so many like waves of criticism because I've had to read thousands of reviews through my job like freelance jobs with Rotten Tomatoes and just analyze the way people review films. And it's just don't trust it because like people go in with preconceived notions. People don't like Kristen Stewart for some reason. And then everyone's like, oh, it's like Alien, but Alien borrowed from a ton of movies. So it just you're just every movie is like every movie. Oh, that guy got punched in the face. I hate it. Like, and so it's just the wave of negativity towards it was really odd to me. And so for me, I don't know, I'm not saying you do it, but like for me with these movies, I just watch them. Like I try to watch them without any preconceived notions. I don't worry about the trailers. Like I just go, do I like it? So I guess that's how I roll. Now, I'm not saying you don't, but that's why I kind of maybe look at movies differently sometimes because I just want to watch them. Like I
Yeah,
like put them in context.
yeah, I do the same thing. I very rarely come down really hard on movies. Now, in my own podcast over at War Wieners, I think I seem to do that more often because these are critical acclaimed movies that want you to treat them seriously, and I take them up on that, and will critique them as
Yeah,
such.
yeah. Well, and that's fair though, because some movies are Oscar bait, right? Some movies really do put themselves out there. But when it comes to movies like Underwater or Love and Monsters, they're just trying to be a good time. Like they're just like, hey, here's a neat movie filmed, made with like a 30 to 40 million dollar budget. Enjoy it. Like, don't compare it to one of the greatest of all time that will rarely ever be matched in terms of quality. Just like it. Like that's that's what these movies are, right? So you can give them a pass because they're not trying to reinvent the wheel, because very few things do. So it's just enjoy it. Just like this movie.
Speaking of aliens, let's talk about grenades.
Yeah. You go first.
Oh, so we're gonna each gonna draft 5 grenade moments in film,
Yes.
and then we're gonna winnow it down to one list.
Yep.
Okay.
The three
Uh,
movies.
the 3 movies. Okay,
So
that's even
10 to
harder.
3.
Okay. Man. Okay, I am gonna take Starship Troopers, where Rico jumps on the back of a bug, shoots
Oh, yeah.
its carapace, and then drops a grenade in and jumps off.
That's incredible. Yeah. I love Rico, man. Such a great, because he has to shoot like several clips into it and then drop a squishy thing into it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
And I'm going to apologize to your audience real quick. There is someone mowing their lawn behind me, despite it being in the 30s and wet. I don't know what this dude's doing.
Yeah. Whatever. It adds to the ambiance. And
We do it live.
yeah, that's right. All right. So all right, I'm gonna take Overlord. So
Okay, I've seen that movie, but I don't remember this, but it kept coming up in my research.
yeah, so I watched the clip again, and I remembered it. So basically what happens is there's a this woman puts a grenade in the Nazi's mouth and duct tapes it, has him drive into a group of other Nazis. And it's like a 3-part plan. The grenade won't explode unless they pull the duct tape off the person's mouth and pull the pin with it. But what's great is like the dude's head just explodes. Like it's an R-rated movie, and it's one of the most violent explosions ever. So I like that it's like, hey, let's not just throw a grenade at somebody like in Commando. I'm gonna throw a grenade, you jump on a trampoline and flip in the air. We're gonna send somebody with a grenade in their mouth, and then when they pull the duct tape off, we can blow up as many people as possible. So there's many steps to it. So that's why I chose Overlord.
That's fun. That's a really good one. I'm going to take one that is off the beaten path, but I have to do it. I have to do it, and I have to do it for this podcast. And that is In the Army Now.
Oh, I have that too.
You do? Amazing.
Yeah.
When Pauly Shore, instead of throwing the grenade, throws the the pin. Very
Pull the pin,
funny.
throw the grenade.
drops a grenade, throws the pin.
Oh man, it's just it's such a trailer moment. But if you grew up in the 90s, you remember that moment. And then also the suck on this one time, and he shoots the rocket launcher backwards.
Oh yeah. Maybe. Do I want to watch that movie now?
Oh man, it's funny. David Allen Greer, like, get the scorpion off my back. Oh man, and they're water filtration experts. Oh yeah, I have that too. Okay, so I'll skip over that one. And so I found out there's like a subgenre of grenade usage in movies where the person gets a grenade put in their pants. So in Tango and Cash, Kurt Russell puts a grenade in someone's pants. In The Hunt, Ethan Suplee puts a grenade in someone's pants. And the one I picked is Hard Target, when Jean-Claude Van Damme puts a grenade in the pants of Lance Hendrickson, and he just blows up.
Oh man, Hard Target, so
Yeah.
fun.
But like, I mean, a grenade in pants is a big thing, so that's why I had to go with Hard Target.
So I have Tango and Cash on my list. I'm not going to take it because you already have one grenade in pants. But I do want to utter the line, think it's a dud.
Oh, yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Okay, there's a couple that I think we're tap dancing around, but that's okay because I'm going to take another one I really love, and that is Raising Arizona, when Nicolas Cage, IP McDonough, blows up Leonard Smalls by accident, totally by accident. They're fighting, and essentially he actually pulls a clip out of his grenade vest, and then the guy blows up. And in the process, he just says, "I'm sorry."
Yeah. That's a great moment, man. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love it. Yeah, because it's just the way McDonough takes people out, right? He's just gonna be total luck in the way he gets it done, and then the guy blows up. Oh, that's perfect. You know, that's my favorite Coen brother film.
I don't, but I can definitely see why.
And I'm not saying
it is
best.
very good.
I'm just saying favorite. It's the one I can watch the most. They have like little Yodas on them and shit. Like, I love that line. That's perfect, dude. That's that. All right. You might have this, but this is one that really proved memorable to me, and that is The Professional with the grenade vest. And it has just one of the best, oh man, I'm dead moments when Gary Oldman realizes that he flips, and the grenades, they take like about a minute to explode, by the way, which I love. Like, I love a delayed release grenade. But yeah, he pulls them around, opens up his hand, sees the pins, and Jean Reno says, for Matilda, and he blows up Oldman. And it's just very satisfying because it's sad. you don't want to see the professional dying, but also just horrifyingly evil Oldman blows up. So I had to pick that.
That's a good one. I haven't seen that in a long time, so I didn't remember that one. Okay, the three I have left are biggies. And so I do want to talk about this one and whether we want to just exclude it because it's so famous. And that's the Aliens Vasquez scene when she blows up. They blow themselves up trying to protect everyone.
Yeah, that's a great moment though.
It is a fantastic moment. I think it should be on our list, frankly, because it's so well done. So if you're okay, I'll take that one.
Yeah, we need it. That's an all-timer. That's like the two of them blow themselves up. What a great moment. Not that they die, it's just a great grenade moment.
All Vasquez, the best.
My last one is going to be RRR when Ramcharan puts grenades on arrows and just starts blowing up everything in sight. Like he finds grenades, attaches them to arrows, and just everybody starts blowing up. Like it's a blow up festival, and it makes me really happy. And I just really wanted to pick RRR for my grenade moments.
Yeah, that's a great one. I love that movie. All right, two other big ones. One is blowing up the chateau in Dirty Dozen.
Yep.
Which is good. I remember it being longer. I rewatched that scene last night. The second one is Captain America jumps on the grenade.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a really good one. I personally, I'm going to go for Captain America.
You know what? It's character building through grenades, so we probably got to include it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so what do you think? In the Army now is kind of, should we do the pants? Do you want to do, because we have a sacrifice, we have character building. Like what should we pick for one more? Because we have Aliens and Captain America.
That was just my 5. If you want to go through the total 3, we can do that.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you think should be in our top 3? So we have Starship Troopers in the Army Now, Hard Target, Raising Arizona, Professional, RRR, Aliens, Captain America, Overlord.
Yeah. I want to put Aliens in there regardless. I think that makes it.
Gotta have it.
Yeah.
I mean, Captain America builds character. Like it's the only one where character development happened.
Yeah, I really like that scene. And then, do you want to do someone blowing someone else up in their pants?
Yeah, because it's a thing, right?
Yeah, it is definitely a thing. Now imagine if you were wearing like loose pants and just rolled out the bottom.
That's why I wear tracksuits and boxers. Like never wear tight pants and underwear. Wear loose pants. Wear hammer pants and boxers and sandals.
Or shorts.
Yeah.
The entire movie thwarted by shorts.
Yeah, I'm stuff it down the pants and clunk, and then you just dive out of the way and kick it at the person.
There was one kicking around my head, but I couldn't think of the movie. I know there's a movie where people are throwing grenades into a car, and then the person inside is just throwing them back.
There's so many of those, and there's so many, like in Bad Boys. There's a lot of grenade moments. I mean, the '80s probably had a grenade moment in every single movie. So yeah, I think I'm happy with what we picked, though.
Yeah,
I am.
It's good. It's definitely good.
I'm very happy. But hey, so what else do we got? Anything else? You done with your notes?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Well, where can people find you, David?
Yeah, so you can find me at It's Me David Cross across all of the social medias. I'm also the co-host of Award Wieners, a podcast about Oscar-winning movies and hot dogs. We are doing Gone with the Wind. It's coming up next, and boy, oh boy, it is gonna be a big one.
That's a giant one.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna watch Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Arguably one of the movies that could have won the Oscar that year. Not really. It was basically Gone with the Wind from the start. But I'm excited to watch that one because I haven't seen it.
Oh, I love it. Well, this is awesome, man, and I'm glad we finally talked about this. We'll have to do Monster Hunter eventually, but we got to do Insidious. We keep pushing Insidious back, so we can either do Monster Hunter and then go to Insidious, or we can just start with Insidious. So just let me know.
Let's just start with Insidious. I'm excited to get that up and running. By the time we finish it, probably a new one will be out.
Yeah, because the last one made 187 million. So yeah, absolutely. But hey, David, thank you for joining me.
Thank you. I love the podcast. Chat with you soon.
Absolutely. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for David Cross, this is Movie Films and Flicks. We'll see you next week.